football. Tonight it's the Cardinals of St. Peter's and the South River Rams. Well, hi everybody, I'm Craig Scupp, and the Rams coming off a tough tie last week at home, 15-15, very controversial ball game, and that tie eliminates the Rams from really any chance of Central Jersey Group 1 play. New Brunswick has to lose 2 games in a row for the Rams to even have a shot at qualifying. Plus, New Brunswick has some power points with wins over Cedar Ridge and North Central, plus a win over South River. So a tough ball game last week, very controversial. That field goal at the end, a lot of South River fans felt it went wide left. That Efren Cabrera fumble that was whistled down would have been 14-0 at halftime. I don't know if South River people caught this interesting article in the Asbury Park Press. Supposedly reports of catcall, spitting, stone throwing, and unsportsmanlike behavior, claims the Keyport Board of Education. And there's all sorts of talk at a Board of Education meeting down in Keyport, and supposedly next year's ball game between Keyport and South River is in jeopardy. Keyport doesn't want to have anything to do with South River. And to quote Bill Shateri in the article, I think it's a little bit ridiculous. It's being blown way out of proportion. Supposedly stones hurled at the Keyport bus, and Bill said he saw nothing of that. But on to football, the Rams' opponent tonight, the Cardinals of St. Peter's, 1-5-1, 1-3-1 in the Blue Division under second-year coach Tom Gargiulo. Cardinals last year in '85, 3-5-1. Rams last year beat St. Peter's here in New Brunswick 7-0, and due to the rescheduling and division alignments in the GMC, the Rams for the second straight year are playing St. Peter's away, and they'll do that also with Metuchen a week from Saturday. So Cardinals has won the toss. Rams set the kickoff. George Garcia, number 11 for South River. Alex Martin from his own 20 across the 30 up to about the 37-yard line. So good field position. And St. Peter's will work out of a pro-eye offense. Cardinals come in with a win over Spotswood, 33-14. Their losses, 26-6 to New Brunswick, 14-9 to Metuchen, 24-6 to Bishop Bar. A tough loss to Mater Dei, 8-7, and we're shut out by Highland Park, 28-0. Last week we're tied by St. Pius, 6-all. It'll be Roy Jarrett, start at quarterback, rolling out on the first play, tries to cut inside. Runs right into Larry Crawford for South River. A sophomore, Rich Marine, has seen most of the action at quarterback for St. Peter's, but he's out with a broken hand. Billy Fox was the quarterback last year. He moved to New York City, so they were hurt by his loss, as did T.K. Dorsey, who transferred to Immaculata. So a different backfield this year for St. Peter's, and they have struggled on offense, averaging about 12 per ball game. A gain of 1, 2nd and 9. Once again, keep it on the ground, and Crawford right there. Sean Varlo on the carry. 5'10 sophomore. So Larry Crawford had an inspired ball game against Keyport. Didn't actually get the starting nod, but really came on, and one of the Rams' standouts on defense, along with Smalley and Nowicki, and really everybody on the Ram defense, and shutting down Cabrera and John Kemp. So 3rd and 8. White is wide left, along with Tony Walker, out of the eye. Complete to Walker, and he is wrestled down by Todd Check. Gain of about 5. Could be about 3 yards shy of a first down. So good series for the Rams defense, and St. Peter's will be forced to punt it away. The Rams come in with a record of 3-2-1, 2-2 in the Blue Division. Rams are 0-1-1 at home, and surprisingly, a 3-1 mark on the road. Rams have played well. Their only loss was here in New Brunswick at Memorial Stadium, 26-7 to the Zebras of New Brunswick. Vinnie Jackson and Sadowski are back deep for South River. Fowler to boot it away. Take that, Jarrett on the keeper.
Fowler's pass complete to Jarrett.
So Rams caught napping there. Yours truly also. Good play by St. Peter's to keep their drive alive. 1st and 10.
That play picks up a first down for the Cardinals.
Ball's at the 32-yard line of South River. 1st and 10, St. Peter's.
South River 32.
Ram defense, Barcelo in at the end. Crawford's the nose guard. Shern and Nowicki at tackle. And Jason Bush as the other defensive end. Linebacker Smalley, Czech, and Ivanovich, the Rams secondary. Dean, Vinnie Jackson seeing some action in the Rams secondary. And Diem. St. Peter's takes their first time out.
South River, George Garcia.
George Garcia.
That was
That would have to be Jack. He's a cousin of
So first and 10, St. Peter's. Alec Martin is wide right.
First and 10 for St. Peter's.
Walker and Rich White are wide left. Jarrett rolling out of trouble. And a penalty flag as that pass fell incomplete. We'll wait the call. It appears to be a legal man downfield, talking with the defensive captain, guard Smalley. Against St. Peter's, now a loss of down will be 2nd and 15.
We have an illegal receiver downfield for St. Peter's. It's also a loss of a down.
Substitution for St. Peter's, number 14, Kobe Fowler has come on. The Fowler goes wide left. Tony Walker wide right out of the eye. Give off left side. Rams right there. Jason Bush with help from Czech.
Barlow on the carry.
Sean Varlow got the carry.
Larry Crawford. Third and 15.
No yards. A 3rd and 15. Jarrett back to throw. Swings it out. It's complete to Alberto Hernandez. And Ram defense looked sharp other than that fake punt. Have contained the St. Peter's offense here on the first 2 drives.
Guard Smalley made the initial hit.
So a punting situation once again for the Cardinals. Roy Jarrett, very quick athlete, likes to roll out and could cause some problems. And ran very reminiscent of Dwayne Smith early in there with New Brunswick. Kobe Fowler back to boot it away, number 14. Ron Sadowski and Vinnie Jackson are back. Again, this time looking deep. And broken up, and we have a penalty flag. Should be pass interference. So interesting strategy here in 2 punting situations. Going for the pass. So St. Peter's coming in 1-5-1. Obviously hasn't been the best of seasons for St. Peter's. Pass interference against the Rams. You look at the lifetime series. Rams lead the series 22-1. The only time the Cardinals beat the Rams, they beat the Rams at Denny in '84 by the score of 35-6, when Jeff White and Dave Shanowski were the couple of the top players for that Cardinal ball club. And then back in 1976, 27-18. So 2 consecutive times the Ram defense have held St. Peter's. They've passed both times on 4th down. All the Rams had to do that time is just bat the ball away, but they hit the intended receiver.
First and 10 for St. Peter's with the Rams 21-yard line.
So at the South River 21-yard line, 1st and 10. Zarvis is wide right. Pitch to Varlow, looks to option. Can't find an open receiver. Now keeping on the ground up the middle, and he is upended by guard Smalley.
Sean Barlow on the carry.
So Sean Varlow, the 5'10 sophomore,
Smalley on the top.
gained about 7, call it 2nd and 3. Bit of a busted play, worked well.
14, 2nd and 3.
St. Peter's working from the Ram 14-yard line. Sarvis is wide right. Tony Walker has come on. Time Darius James, the junior, off left side. We have a penalty flag on the play.
Darius James was driven out of bounds. And there's another flag thrown on the play.
Wait the call from the field. Appears to be against St. Peter's as the official conversing with Gart Smalley. Blocking below the knees, going against the Cardinals. Be a 2nd and 20 out at the 29-yard line. So a mental mistake there, hurting the Cardinals, pushing them back. Actually, the Cardinals have been most deadly against South River on 4th down. End around to Walker. Looks to cut inside and hit hard by Mike Dean with help from Vinnie Jackson about the 25.
Brought down by Jackson.
You got me impressed. The Cardinals definitely mixing things up on offense. You look at this. They scored 33 against Spotswood, had just 6 against Pius, 7 against Mater Dei, 6 against Bishop R. Were blanked by Highland Park, 6 against New Brunswick. Seen a couple passes on 4th down, attempted option play and end around. 6.5 to play, first quarter, no score. Walker goes in motion, far side of the field. And we get a penalty flag, might be a delay of game. Encroachment against the Rams, so 5 yards marked off against South River.
5-yard penalty brings the ball to the 19. 3rd and 8.
3rd and 8 for South River. Both teams trading penalties here. Rams starting with the same secondary, Dean Diem and Vinnie Jackson, saying his real first action in the secondary. Here's Hernandez, off left tackle, dragged down by guard Smalley. The fullback, Alberto Hernandez, has 3 touchdowns on the year, had 2 touchdowns in the only win this year over Spotswood.
Jason Bush on the stop.
They'll call it 4th and 6. And it looks like they're going for a field goal try.
4th and 7.
Jeff White, junior, come on. Where's number 80? "35-yard field goal attempt.
Field goal. The 35-yard set.
Snap is bobbled. Heaves into the end zone. And a penalty flag, may be an illegal receiver downfield. So we've seen a lot of intriguing action from the St. Peter's Ball Club. Hasn't resulted in any points. That time that was Mike Miller, the holder. Illegal receiver downfield. Miller couldn't hold on to the snap, rolled out, just heaved it into the end zone. Dean was right there on the coverage for South River. Ram offense is yet to touch the ball. 5:14 to play, first quarter.
South River takes over 1st and 10.
The Rams will take over their first offensive drive, working from their own 22-yard line. Check and Jackson in the Ram backfield. Dean, his second starter quarterback. Here's Vinnie Jackson cutting inside, exploding for about 12 yards. wrestled down by Walker. So Vinnie Jackson, who came in the ball game, 43 carries, 283 yards on the ground, had 73 last week against Keyport, has 3 touchdowns on the year for 18 points. So a first down for South River as Jackson walks off the field.
Ball on the 36-yard line.
First and 10 South River. Weems has come on at wingback. Give to Rich Bird, not much there. Ran into Russ Jackson, number 65, big kid, 6 feet, 245 pounds. Rich Bird had a good ball game last week against Keyport. On the ground, 75 yards, the leading rusher for South River. Before that last carry by Vinnie Jackson, Rich came in with 52 carries, 288 yards, loss of 3. Second and 13, Sadowski and Checker split right. Pitch to Vinnie Jackson, cutting inside. Not much there for South River. No blocking at all. Russ Jackson able to bring the junior down.
That was Jackson, stopped by Jackson.
Rams trying to work that same play that worked well for Vinnie to the far side of the field. Bird and Diem come on for the Rams, replacing May and Vinnie Jackson. So a 3rd and 14, 3:50 to play, first quarter, no score. Send Ron Sadowski wide left. It's single man coverage from Darius James. Dean swings it out to Rich Bird. It's complete, but only for about a 3-yard gain. So the Rams will be about 10 yards shy of a first.
Fourth and 9.
So the punting unit and Craig Bailey has come on. Craig has had a solid year punting for Bill Shatteri's squad.
Coach? Coach? That reverse, their linebackers go with the first motion.
Varlo back deep,
Greg Bailey back to punt.
along with Jarrett. Here's the boot from Craig. Line drive kick. Jarrett from his own 32 runs out about Sadowski and Smalley with right there with help from Dorian.
Cardinals take over first and 10.
Rams not able to do much on their first offensive series.
Souvenir programs
2:47 to play, first quarter, no score.
are available at the entrance to the stadium.
Rams back out on the road again after last week's rare home game at Denny Stadium. One final home game for South River, Thanksgiving morning against Saraville. So first and 10, Cardinals at their own 37. Straight up the middle, Hernandez for about 3. Jason Bush in on the stop with help from Nowicki.
Nowicki on the stop. Gain was to the 41. Second and 7.
Gain of 3, second and 7 for St. Peter's. Fowler is wide left. Official timeout on the field.
Hey, Coach. Try our counter, too. Coach?
Mix up on the handoff. Here's Jarrett on the keeper, right into Smalley.
Jarrett brought down by Smalley.
That time appears to try to get the ball to Hernandez, had trouble and kept it on the keeper for a couple.
From the 42.
So 3rd and 6 substitution. Walker comes out of the game. Barry Sarvis, junior, number 88, has come on for St. Peter's. Sarvis and Walker are wide right.
How's that our counter? Okay.
Keep it on the ground. Nice hit there by Dean. It'll be about 2 yards shy of the first down. Just drilling the sophomore Sean Varlo. Well, he only goes about 155 pounds and met Dean head on. There was some talk early in the year they didn't want Dean playing offense and defense, but Bill has decided to start Mike Dean in his second straight game. Got shaken up late in the Keyport game. Mackless came on, scored a touchdown, which gave the Rams a 13-10 lead. Smalley's extra point conversion, a two-pointer, made it 15-10. So they're going for it, 4th and a yard, pitch left side to James, and he's got it. So second-year coach Tom Gargiulo, nothing to lose. Club just comes in at 1-5-1. So some interesting 4th down plays, 2 passes, and St. Peter's going for it on the ground, their own territory. So now move inside Ram territory at the 49, just 17 seconds to play first quarter. Walker and Sarvis are wide right. See if they get this playoff down to 8 seconds. And may have taken too much time. They did. Stops the clock with 4 seconds. So 5-yard mark off against the Cardinals. First and 15 back at the Ram 40, back at their own 46-yard line. Give the second man through. Varlo tries to cut around the outside, has running room. One man to beat Dean. He may go all the way. So Sean Varlo, 46 yards, the final play of the first quarter. He's at 54 yards. Rams napping, figured they just run a little dive play, waste a quarter. And Sean Varlo able to explode. His 3rd touchdown on the year. White will try the extra point, number 80. High snap last time. They're going for it. Complete to Martin. Rams caught napping.
The pass from Miller to Jarrett was the 2-point conversion. And that's the end of the first quarter. With the score, St. Peter's 8.
We'll take a break. End of 1. Rams trailing the Cards 8-0. Come back to Memorial. So Fowler will kick off for St. Peter's. Sadowski and Jackson are back deep. Jackson at his own 19-yard line, far side of the field, stumbles across to the 30 to about the 32. The Rams caught napping there at the end of the first quarter. Varlo, 54-yard run, the 2-point conversion. Rams forced to play catch-up here. Place it at the 33, 1st and 10 South River. Their second offensive series of the game. There's Rich Bird off the right side for about 7. Rich had a good ball game against Keyport, the sophomore, as Martin was able to drive Rich out of bounds. 75 yards against Keyport, has 2 touchdowns on the year, has had 2 good ball games in a row, 60 yards rushing against Pius and 75 against Keyport. Injured South River player on the field, and we'll take a break. Mike Weems' play resumed. Here's guard Smalley, the fullback, straight up the middle of the first down and more. Inside St. Peter's territory. At the 46 of St. Peter's, so guard Smalley, first carry on the night, came in 29 carries, 98 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Rams now with Smalley at fullback, Bird in at tailback, Sadowski wide left, 1st and 10, as Ivanovich, the wingback, goes in motion. Here's Rich Bird for a couple. Rams primarily going with Bird and Jackson at the tailback. Jeff Doyne saw a lot of action in the first 2 or 3 ball games. Bill Shateri has primarily alternated Bird and Jackson at tailback. I'm sure it's Bill's intention to break Vinny and Rich. Vinny has 3 touchdowns but has not scored since the New Brunswick ball game. Did have a touchdown call back against Pius. So 2nd and 7. Here's Vinny Jackson near side of the field, looks for a block, cuts inside. Upended by James, the cornerback, number 32. First down as Bird and Joe May come on. So 8-0 Cardinals, 9:47 remaining first half. Rams working from the Cardinal 35-yard line. The senior Ron Sadowski caught a touchdown pass last week from Mike Dean, 55 yards. Is Bird trying to get around the outside. Got a couple. The Rams staying on the ground with their tailback. Rich Bird and Vinny Jackson. Vinny Jackson returns, as does Bailey. Miller on the stop for St. Peter's. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Under 9 minutes remaining, first half. Here's Vinny Jackson. Cuts to the far side, inside the 25, knocked out of bounds at about the 19-yard line. Alec Martin able to drive the junior out of bounds. So another South River first down. Rams have only thrown once in the ball game. Dean 3 yards to Bird. So just inside the 20-yard line of St. Peter's, Craig Bailey is wide left. Here's guard Smalley lunging forward for about 3.
Smalley on the dive. Hayes and Jackson on the stop.
Jim Hayes, one of the co-captains, number 56, the senior, making the stop.
Game 4, 2nd and 6 from the 16.
Pickup of 4, 6 yards needed for a South River first down. Rams working out of the eye. Second man through is Rich Bird.
That was Bird, stopped by Hayes and Kopecky.
Pepekian on the stop with some help from Brown. Ralph Brown, number 44.
Pickup was to the 13. 3rd and 2.
Third and a long 2 for South River. 2 tight end offense for the Rams. Straight ahead, guard Smalley. Garth continues to impress. Nothing fancy, just lunging forward, another first down.
First and goal for the Rams and the Cardinals.
Garth hasn't carried the ball that much for South River this year. About 30 some odd carries, but makes the most of each rushing attempt. So first and goal, South River. Inside the 5, from our vantage point, pick out the yard line. Here's Vinnie Jackson off left side, touchdown.
Howard Jackson, good for the South River touchdown. Touchdown by Vinnie Jackson.
So Vinnie Jackson, I just mentioned before, has not scored since the New Brunswick game. Gets his 4th touchdown on the year. Now the leading Rams scorer with 24 points. Dean will hold for Garcia. See if the Rams go for 2 points like they did last week.
Garcia on to try the extra point.
Now an 8-6 ball game. 7:02 to play. Dean in the end zone, overthrew Smalley, wide open. The nearest man appeared to be Russ Jackson. The Rams blow an opportunity there. 7:02 to play first half. Cardinals lead at 8-6. So Mike Dean not able to connect with guard Smalley, wide open in the end zone, unable to tie up this ball game. The Rams get on the board. Trail 8-6. So George Garcia will kick off. Varlo is back deep, along with Martin for St. Peter's.
Milo or Martin.
It's a boot from the junior George Garcia. Martin from his own 15-yard line across the 20. Breaks a couple tackles, finally wrestled down
Tracked down by Vincent Jackson.
about the 33-yard line. Vinnie Jackson on the stop. Called the 33-yard line. 1st and 10, St. Peter's. Roy Jarrett, the quarterback. Mentioned Rich Marine out with a broken hand. Here's Hernandez for about 2. 6.5 remaining first half. 8-6 St. Peter's. Last year the Rams played the Cardinals here at Memorial Stadium. Came away with a 7-0 win. 2nd and 8 for St. Peter's. Second man through is James. Upended across the 40 to about the 42 by Jackson. Jackson didn't get him. He was long gone. Close to a first down. We'll get an official measurement here. So the chain gang coming on to the field. Next week, the Rams away at Edgar Field take on the Metuchen Bulldogs, who this weekend a tough ball game with Highland Park. Metuchen, one of the prime favorites to get in the playoffs of the Central Jersey Group 1, along with Highland Park and New Brunswick. South Huntington is battling there along with Keyport. We could see as many as 3 teams from the GMC Blue Division.
1st and 10 for St. Peter's to the 44-yard line.
So 1st and 10 St. Peter's. Sarvis is wide left for the Cardinals. There's Jarrett off the option. Pitches, and Weems is right there, the outside linebacker. Nothing there for Sean Varlo. Loss of a yard, 2nd and 11. 5:25 to play first half. St. Peter's working out of the eye, and that time, both clubs pointing at each other. Looked like Nowicki may have jumped offside, but they say motion against St. Peter's. So 5-yard mark off against the Cardinals. The ball back just inside the 40-yard line of St. Peter's. Rich Bird has come on, number 44 for South River. He'll replace Bill Shern. Rams going with an extra linebacker here. 4:55 to play first half. St. Peter's leads it 8-6. Keep it on the ground. Darius James. Gain of about 5 up to the 45-yard line. Larry Crawford there.
Third and 9 from the 45.
So third and a long 9 for St. Peter's as Barklow limping off the field. Shaking up on that last play. Jarrett to throw on third down. Looks for Walker. He's got him. Close to the first down as Smalley and Dean made the stop. That time Tony Walker. 6-foot senior wide open and a first down for the Cardinals. Nothing fancy about that. Found a hole in the Rams secondary. So Shern has come back on replacing Bird. Under 4 minutes remaining. First half, 8-6 Peters.
One of the South River band members will be asked to draw the winning 50-50 ticket.
Barry Sarvis is wide left. Walker, the split to the right, working out of the pro-eye set. Penalty flag. Jarrett back to throw. Nearly intercepted, deflected by Smalley, and they say trapped by the other linebacker, Mike Weems, but a flag on the play. Motion against St. Peter's.
Legal motion against St. Peter's.
Gives the Cardinals a 1st and 15 at the 50-yard line. Rams still going to that same secondary right throughout the first half. Vinnie Jackson has been there all throughout the half at the corner, replacing Tom Eicher. And that time, Walker jumping offside. So a mix-up in the Peters offense. 2 consecutive flags. Cardinals not getting their signals straight. That'll be a 1st and 20.
Now 1st and 20 from the 45.
Sends the ball back to the 45-yard line of the Cardinals. Bird has come on replacing Shern. Rams going with an extra linebacker. Jarrett to throw. Looks to swing it out, and it's incomplete, intended for Varlow. So a 2nd and 20. Good coverage there by the Ram defense. And Darius James is checked into lineup for St. Peter's, replacing Sean Varlow. 3:23 remaining first half. Rams now going with that 4-4 defensive alignment. Jarrett again to throw. Scrambling out of trouble, runs right into
Jarrett on the keeper.
Rich Holloman, who's come on at linebacker number 34. Rams shuffling linebackers in out.
On the top. Bro. Craig. 3rd and 20. What's up, brother?
2:50 remaining first half. A 3rd and 10 as Cardinals working out of the eye. Jarrett looking deep. Art Deem is there, and incomplete, intended for Barry Sarvis. Good coverage by the Rams secondary. So the punting unit will come on for St. Peter's. Then again, maybe not. They've gone for it 3 other times on 4th down. Rams have to be wary as Fowler's come on, number 14. 2 fakes. And one time just went for it on 4th down. Here's the boot from Fowler. Jackson stumbles, looks like it hit him, and falls on it at his own 13-yard line. So a near mix-up there. Rams a bit tentative. And start this drive in pretty poor field position from their own 13.
Check out your number. The winning 50-50 number is 0, 1, 3, 1, 5, 6, 1, 0, 1, 3.
So 2:15 remaining first half, 8-6 Cardinals. Sean Varlow from 54 yards. They added the 2-point conversion. The Rams answering back with Vinnie Jackson, but the Rams could not convert their 2-point try. They trail 8-6. Long count for South River. Here's Todd Check for about 2.
Check on the carry. Tripped up by Kopecki.
Kopecki in on the stop for St. Peter's.
Gain of 2. Second and 8 for the 16.
Clock is still ticking away, and they may call the timeout. About 5 seconds ticked off. So it looks like a St. Peter's timeout. We'll take a break. So it's Bill Shateri walking off the field for South River. 2nd and 8. The St. Peter's will be calling quick timeouts. They want to force the Ram to punt deep in their own territory if they don't get the first down.
Second and 8 for the 16.
Rams working from their own 15. Here's Vinnie Jackson cutting inside to the 21-yard line, wrestled down.
Jackson brought down by Barlow.
James and Varlow on the stop. 1:25 to play. It'll be about a third. They call it a long one, and the Cardinals once again take a timeout.
There's no timeout. Make that third.
So apparently no timeout. Third, long one, 1:17 remaining first half. Sadowski wide right. Here's Jackson. Option over the middle for Sadowski. It's complete. Wrestles off a couple tackles. Has the first down.
Ron Sadowski. Sadowski driven down by Hayden.
Unofficially 21 yards in that pass to Vinnie Jackson. 1:05 to play. I mentioned now the Rams take a timeout. We'll take a break. You're watching South River TV 35. So 1st and 10 South River.
All right, count 6 seconds.
Dean sacked behind the line of scrimmage. Wanted to go to the far side, either Weems or Jackson.
Dean sacked on the play by Tom Hendrickson, number 83.
Rams take another timeout. Stops the clock with 1:01 as Bill Shateri comes on.
That's the 2nd and 12 play right now.
Loss of 2 on that Dean sack. St. Peter's obviously scouting the Rams. The Rams like to throw that lateral pass, either work into another option or at that time,
Ladies and gentlemen, the clock is now official. There's 1 minute and 1 second remaining.
no room at all for Weems or Jackson even to catch the ball, and Dean made a good decision in not throwing. Chance of an interception or a fumble.
Don't blame it on the coach. It's the refs out there.
So a 2nd and 12 for South River. Sadowski split to the right, Rams out of the eye. Fake the bird. Here's Dean on the rollout. Looking deep for May. Incomplete. Had a step on James. Something we really haven't seen that much. Only 3 seconds went off the clock that time. So we haven't seen that much of the long passing game from South River this year. Dean, by far the strongest arm in the ball club. So Rams looking to go deep, as evidenced by last week's hookup with Sadowski of 55 yards. So a 3rd and 12 passing situation once again for South River. Dean on the rollout, nothing there. Big Len Kopecky wrestling Dean down. 45 seconds to go as St. Peter's take their final timeout. The first half, 44 seconds.
They have no more timeouts left. That's right. So why should St. Peter's call timeout? Oh, it's fourth down. I'm sorry. Yeah, good move, good call. Yeah, good call. I didn't know it was fourth down.
Hey, Greg, you're still rolling. Now, 13 from the 7-yard line.
We're still here. 44 seconds to play. Bob Gregory has come on for South River. Craig Bailey set to boot it away. Varlo will go back deep for St. Peter's. Along with Roy Jarrett, number 26. Nine-man rush from St. Peter's. Remember, Craig had one blocked against St. Pius, taking a lot of time. Finally boots it away. Touched by St. Peter's, picked up by the Ram. Ron Sadowski has one man to beat. Wrestled down inside the 10, about the 9-yard line. A penalty flag on the play. So hold everything. Craig Bailey, that is something you probably should have did against Keyport last week. So we'll wait the call from the field. That flag at the 25-yard line of South River. Roughing the kicker against the Cardinals. So they can't advance the fumble off the Jarrett miscue. But it'll be Rams ball with 28 seconds to go. Rams have one timeout remaining. But now the Ram defense is still on the field. Long time to figure out this situation. So the Rams, who had their woes with the officials a week ago in Keyport, him marking the ball inside St. Peter's territory, about the 48. So the Rams just thought they had the ball inside the 10 and perhaps at the 25. Apparently, counting off the penalty from the Rams' former possession point. So St. Peter's gets a break. Instead of 8 yards for a touchdown, Rams have to go half the length of the field. 28 seconds remaining first half. Cardinals lead at 8-6. Officials still conversing in the middle of the field. So now the call apparently hit a Ram player first. I don't know if the roughing the kicker penalty means anything anymore. Rams have the ball. If you can figure out what happened, at the Cardinal 35-yard line, there's 28 seconds remaining here in the first half. The officials are talking with the head coach, Tom Gargiulo, of St. Peter's. He's asking for an explanation. Well, the Rams couldn't advance the ball off the fumble, but they have the ball nevertheless. Going to have to hurry. Clock ticking away, 25 seconds. Remember, Rams ran out of time against the Zebras here. Rams keep it on the ground. Vinnie Jackson for about 5. They blew it down. The Rams will have to hurry. 8 seconds. Tries the Rams didn't throw that time on first down. They're not going to get another playoff. So that's it. Rams, remember Keyport last week got 4 plays off with 22 seconds. Rams just get 1 off with 28 seconds. You figure out. And Bush and Terry not happy with the officiating as we see him at midfield along with Ed Chicky asking for an explanation. We'll be back with third quarter action. The score at halftime from Memorial Stadium. St. Peter's 8, South River 6.
Cloudy and colder and a chance of showers. Right now, 60 degrees at WMGQ.
You're listening to the Saturday Night Oldie Show with Bob Thomas on Magic 98.3 WMGQ New Brunswick.
T35 is a volunteer operation. This year's football games are being funded by advertising grants from local sponsors. Please support these sponsors who have made this year's football telecast possible. In football, a group of people have to work as a team in order to win. It's that way in business, too. And in this area, one of the winning teams is Lee's Auto Parts. That's because they've teamed up with CarQuest to assure you of quality auto parts. Lee's carries quality names in auto parts, such as AP, TRW parts, Blue Streak Ignition, Monroe Shock Motors, and so much more. When you need auto parts, remember the winning team. Lee's Auto Parts on Main Street in South River. In the heart of South River, across from the post office, there's a store called Otto's Liquors, operated by the most courteous and nice people, serving the public over 350 different imported and domestic wines, champagnes, and over 200 imported and domestic beers. The finest cordials from all over the world are also available. And Otto's is also your New Jersey lottery agent. Picket available 13 hours a day.
Laser Lube, you're never in the dark. We have nothing to hide. We welcome you to watch our certified 10-minute oil change specialists complete 24 maintenance services. See for yourself. Laser Lube uses only high-quality products. Relax with a cup of coffee in our customer lounge, and we're done in a flash. No appointment necessary. Only high-quality products and laser low prices at Laser Lube. Convenient locations throughout the
Out to the south of the hub.
Where's it located, John?
That's right, north, south, east, west of the Raritan River. Come on in, enjoy our friendly hospitality and friendly bartenders, and here they are. We got Frank, Brian the Catman, Brian Mike, Tom Allen, Rich Chris, and Hank, Sue on Sunday, and Lenny. Bring 2, give 1 to him, spend the other. On Monday night, we'll have 3 hot dogs for you all, so come on down. That's on Main Street in South River, New Jersey.
How do you get there, John?
By car, you.
Pretending that you're still around.
What happened is that the penalty was against St. Peter.
We're going to let it roll.
All right. Welcome back to Memorial Stadium. We're set for third quarter action. Rams trailing 8-6. Quick rundown of the scoring. With 4 seconds remaining in the first quarter, Sean Barlow scampering for 54 yards. The 2-point conversion, Miller to Jarrett, made it 8-0 after 1. The Cardinals on top. The Rams answering back. Vinnie Jackson from 3 yards out with 7:02 remaining in the second quarter. His 4th touchdown on the year. The pass attempt failed as Dean was not able to connect with a wide-open guard Smalley. That's where we stand as the Rams will set to receive to start the third quarter. They trail 8-6. Rams trying to up their road mark on the year to 4-1 on the, and 3-2 in the blue division. Cardinals come in 1-3-1 in the blue, 1-5-1 overall. Ram running game, impressive in the first half. Bird and Jackson both ran well. Mentioned earlier, Vinny picking up the touchdown. But the Rams had some trouble at the later stages of the second quarter, had 28 seconds, got one brief running play off. And talking to some of the South River fans, Rams felt that should have put the ball in the air, always a chance of an interception. As happened early in the first quarter when St. Peter's on a fourth down heaved the ball in the air. Rams went over the back of the Cardinal receiver, got pass interference and kept the Cardinal drive alive. So back deep for South River be Jackson along with Ron Sadowski with the kickoff from Fowler. The Rams will start this offensive drive right to left. Start quarter number 3. Some confusion. So they're going to switch sides. I don't know if it really matters, but we'll switch positions here. So now the Rams will go left to right, disregard that last statement.
Yeah, I know, but they're still not doing a bad job. That crew before last week was from home. They've done two things that embarrasses.
So Jackson and
Well, if you think that embarrasses, you should see last week.
Sadowski back deep. Rams in their second ball game this year at New Brunswick Memorial Stadium, beaten earlier in the year, 26-7 by New Brunswick. Rams won here last year against Peters, 7-0 final. So with the kickoff from Kobe Fowler, soccer style line drive. Sadowski from his own 21 at the far sideline has running room and it's wrestled out of bounds. That play did not start on a good note, but certainly ended up on one as Ron able to find running room at that far sideline. So good field position, and the Rams start their first offensive series of the second half, trailing by 2. Rams will work from their own 45-yard line. Bill Sherns the center. Barkalow and Chipkowski are the tackles. The guards, excuse me. Crawford and Nowicki at tackle, and Joe May the tight end. There's guard Smalley. 10 yards, 12 yards on that run. So Garth continues to impress. Nothing fancy, just straight ahead running for Garth Smalley. Garth coming in was tied with Vinny Jackson for the scoring lead at 18 points. Vinny scored earlier, so Vinny on the year now the Rams scoring leader. 4 touchdowns, 24 points. You know, Bill Terry wants to start the second half with a impressive drives. Rams trailing by 2. Inside St. Peter's territory. Todd Check for about 1. Mike Miller on the stop. Just inside the 40-yard line of St. Peter's. Call about the 39. Call it a 2nd and long 8. Check and Bird in the Ram backfield. Weems in at wingback. Second man through is Rich Bird off left tackle. About 6 yards, so call it a 3rd and 2 upcoming for South River.
Walker on the stop.
Tony Walker making the hit for St. Peter's. 10-10 remaining, 3rd quarter, 8-6 Cardinals, excuse me. Guard Smalley appears to be a little shy of the first down.
On the dive. Becky on the stop.
Kopecky making the tackle for St. Peter's. So 4th and about a yard. Rams will go for it. Rams at the Cardinal 32-yard line. 4th down in the yard. South River out of the eye. Vinnie Jackson stopped behind the line of scrimmage. The Cardinal defense holds. Ram offense pretty predictable, keeping on the ground the whole series.
Peters takes over, 1st and 10. Cardinals have the ball on their own 35-yard line.
Key to the Ram offense is execution and blocking. Rams certainly don't fool anybody. So Peters will take over at their own 35-yard line. Rams perhaps going to the well a bit too many times. Give to Hernandez, nothing there. Right in the middle of the Ram defense, Nowicki with help from Smalley on the stop. So it'll be 2nd and 10, 8:40 remaining. 3rd quarter. Sarvis is wide right. Walker split to the left, out of the eye. James for a couple. Barklow in on the stop. Junior continues to impress at linebacker number 55. Ram linebacking core has been solid. Barklow, Smalley, and Check. Certainly not big kids, but hard hitters and have consistently good ball games week in and week out. 3rd and 8 for St. Peter's. Barry Sarvis is wide left, number 88. Again on the ground for about a yard. Barlow. So a 4th and 7. Good series there for the Ram defense. That time we saw Tom Eichert come on in the secondary, number 47. Has not seen much action this week. Vinnie Jackson seeing a lot of action both ways, defense and offense. He'll drop back along with Sadowski. Fowler will boot it away. Mix up between Jackson and Smalley. Here's Vinnie. Has some blocking straight up the middle of the field. He's going to go all the way. I see no flag. So what appeared to be a mix-up, Vinnie Jackson all the way. Rams now lead it 12-8. His 2nd touchdown on the game. So, what appeared to be a busted play, Sadowski and Jackson. Neither of them went for the ball. Vinnie picked it up, super blocking, exploding up the field, 76 yards. So Dean will hold for Garcia. The kick is up. And good. 6:57 remaining 3rd quarter. Rams lead it 13-8. play very similar to Ron Sadowski's punt return against Pius, but that one was called back. Vinny's had a couple of touchdowns called back this year, one against Pius, one against Pius. So Vinny on the year, now 5 touchdowns, 30 points, the club leader in scoring. Garcia will kick off. Barlow and Martin back deep at their own 10-yard line for the Cardinals. Wait the kickoff from the junior, George Garcia. Line drive kick. And Tom Henderson fell on it at his own 25-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 Cardinals.
St. Peter's will play its final game of the 1986 season on Thanksgiving Eve here at Memorial Stadium against South Plainfield. Game time 7:30.
So 1st and 10 Cardinals. Rams unbeaten their last 2, a win and a tie. Martin goes in motion. Barlow escapes a tackle, has some running room on the far side. One man to beat Jackson and upended. So Barlow, we got a fight down the far center of the field. Walker just threw a punch at Tom Eicher, so that may be called back, that play. A beautiful piece of running from Barlow. Stopped for a 5-yard loss and unsportsmanlike conduct. So Tony Martin, a dumb play there, landing the right to the head of Eicher. So all that goes by the wayside. Great piece of running. Rams should have had Barlow for 5 yards. If he got by Vinny Jackson, he was long gone. So a nice tackle there by Jackson, but a dumb play. Now, Mark Wrigley and I always talk about mental mistakes, and that was a bad one there. Cardinals needed a play like that to get back in the ballgame. They trail 13-8, need some momentum, trying to keep this drive alive. Ball's back at the 30. So it should be a 1st and 20 now for St. Pete. 1st and 25. 15 yards on that unsportsmanlike conduct. What a difference one play makes. Roy Jarrett's been the quarterback right throughout. Give the ball. The ball is loose, and the Rams have it. Looks like Dennis Nowicki. South River ball at the 25-yard line. Try to see who got that fumble recovery. Rich Holloman. And one of the St. Peter's players has his helmet off and is furious. That's Darius James. South River ball. St. Peter's wants a timeout. They got to settle their ball club down. Darius James is furious. Having words with the official, and St. Peter's takes their first timeout for the second half.
For South River from the St. Peter's 26, and St. Peter's ball timeout.
This kid will never complain to the officials. I have never seen him complain. Has he ever? Tom.
Few times. Has he had late? Not many. Maybe once or twice in 2 years.
So next week, the Rams travel to Edgar Field, take on Metuchen. Rams lost last year at Metuchen, 14-10. Close ball game, and Rob Leaf was able to score a late TD, and that really ruined the Rams' playoff chances. So big test here for the Peters defense. 1st and 10. Jim Mackwitz has come on at quarterback. Gives straight ahead. Looks like Todd checked for about 7 yards. And near another fight, another penalty flag. That was Tajcek, the junior. Maybe offsetting penalties. Oh, now they call unsportsmanlike South River, even up call.
Now we have an unsportsmanlike conduct call against South River.
So a tough break for the Rams there. Usually you see in professional football, every time there's an unsportsmanlike conduct, offsetting penalties. I don't know if they say Tajcek threw the first punch or what. Nevertheless, 15 yards against the Rams. Enough about the officiating. South River had enough trouble with them last week. They missed a fumble call, blew a field goal try. That was 10 points. That was the game. That was the season. And that was the playoffs for South River. Here's Rich Bird exploding off left tackle for 8 yards, just running over defenders. Just threw his head down, run right over Ralph Brown. The Rams get some of that back. Rams have to keep their composure. Looked like St. Peter's was getting a little out of control with Walker and James. A third and a long 10. Rams have to get to about the 16-yard line for a first down. 5:15 remaining. Third quarter. Rams back on top, 13-8. That time, Dennis Nowicki pulling as the Rams broke the huddle. So talk about mental mistakes. I think that's the problem with the Rams season. They get the ball at the 26-yard line after a fumble. They get the lead. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Don't even get a playoff, and the flag is thrown down. That kind of sums up the year. Rams just a little bit away from excellence in a playoff season, but too many mistakes. Couldn't contain the big ground gainers for Highland Park and New Brunswick, and Rams just hurt themselves. So now it's a 3rd and 15. Mackwitz, the throw, complete the Mike Weems across the 20, knocked out of bounds at about the 15, very close to the first down. So Mackwitz completes his first pass on the evening, looks to have the first down. I don't know if Mike Dean is injured or not. He is resting his left ankle at the bench. Appears to be a twisted ankle. So 1st and 10 South River. Rams bouncing back from that unsportsmanlike penalty from the St. Peter's 15-yard line. Sadowski split to the right. Jackson and Smalley in the Ram backfield. Here's Vinnie Jackson.
Vinnie Jackson on the carry.
For about 2 to the 13 of St. Peter's. Big drive for the Rams here. Rams only lead by 5. Remember, St. Peter's converted that 2-point conversion, and after the first Vinnie Jackson touchdown, the Rams missed theirs. So just a 5-point differential between these two clubs. Touchdown looms large here. 4:05 remaining. Third quarter. 2nd and 8. Bird in a tailback for South River. Mike Weems to the 10. Gain of 3. So it'll be a 3rd and about 5. Rams have to get it just inside the 6-yard line for a first. So a big test here for the Peters defense. Held last time the Rams went for it on 4th down, stopping Vinnie Jackson behind the line of scrimmage. Off right tackle, close to the first down. Guard Smalley on that carry. Kopekian on the stop. About 1.5 yards for South River. Rams are going for it. They will not try the field goal. Big drive here for the Rams. 2:45 remaining third quarter. Vinnie Jackson off left tackle inside the 5. Has the first down to about the 3. So Vinny's had a real good ball game, a pair of touchdowns. So it's 1st and goal, South River.
First down. First and goal for the Rams from the Cardinal 3-yard line.
So both clubs making wholesale changes. Barlow has come on in defense. 1st and goal at the Cardinal 3. Here's the tailback. Rich Bird has blocking, touchdown. Rich Bird, 3-yard run, is his 3rd touchdown on the year. Now a 19-8 ball game. And Rams will have to have a new holder. Mike Dean is injured, so Jim Makowitz will hold for George Garcia. So it's the first time Jim Makowitz has held an extra point try. Kick is up and no good. So with 2:11 remaining, 19-8, Rams lead it. You're watching South River TV 35. So we're experiencing some technical difficulties. We can't turn our camera off, so we'll be on right throughout the remainder of the ball game. 2:11 to play, third quarter. Martin and Valo are back deep. Garcia will kick off for South River. Short kick. Martin from his 18-yard line across the 30 to about the 34.
Take care. We'll see you.
Martin returns to kickoff to the 34. For the Cardinals take over at 1st and 10.
So St. Peter's will start this drive at their own 34-yard line. That was Rich Holloman on that stop on the run back from Alec Martin. Minute 52 remaining, third quarter, 19-8, Rams on top. Walker wide right. It's Jarrett on the bootleg, looks to cut inside and lost the yard. Weems right there with help from Barkalow. So Weems has had a good ball game at linebacker. Rich Holloman comes on for South River, number 34, replacing Barkalow, who's been bothered by, appears to be a bit of an ankle injury. He's been hobbling. Mike Dean still on the sideline for South River. Now Vinnie Jackson, Art Diem is in at safety replacing Mike Dean, and he moves over from quarterback, and Tom Eicher. Here's Darius James, Rams right there, another 3-yard loss. Jason Bush, Gart Smalley, Holloman. So 3rd and 14, 43 seconds to play, third quarter. Crawford and Bird come on for South River. Shern and Chipkowski depart. Extra linebacker in there for the Rams. Walker goes in motion. Passing situation for St. Peter's. Jarrett rolls out. Looks a little screen play. Nearly intercepted by Jason Bush. Penalty flag on the play. May have been a legal receiver downfield. Jason Bush was looking for unsportsmanlike conduct, took a late pop.
Disregard the penalty.
So a flag out evidently fell out of his pocket. No penalty.
Fourth down for St.
Fourth and 14, and punting situation for St. Peter's. Kobe Fowler, the sophomore, number 14, has come on. Vinnie Jackson, Ron Sadowski are back deep for the Rams. Just 15 seconds to play in quarter number 3. Vinnie Jackson ran the last one back. Here's the boot from Fowler. Kicks away from Jackson. And Peters will let it roll. Good field position. Touchdown about the 45-yard line
Fowler's punt down on the 45.
by Tony Walker. Let's see if the Rams get this play off. 4 seconds remaining in the third quarter. That'll do it. We're 3 quarters complete here at Memorial Stadium. The score, South River 19 and St. Peter's 8. Let's enjoy the South River Band. Right to left here in the fourth quarter. Good field position. Jim Mackwitz in at quarterback for the injured Mike Dean. So much as was the case in Keyport ballgame, both Dean and Mackwitz seeing action at quarterback for South River. Craig Bailey is wide left. Second man through is Rich Bird for about 2. Barlow in on that tackle. 2nd and 8. The Rams do have some breathing room, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, and the Cards will still be 3 shy. So it's been a good evening for the Ram tailbacks, Vinnie Jackson and Rich Bird, counting for all of South River's touchdowns. They send Ron Sadowski wide right. Check in at fullback. Weems is the wingback. And here's Jeff Dorian for about 6. I mentioned Jeff has not carried the ball that much in the last couple of ball games. The Rams are definitely deep at tailback. Dorian coming in, 31 carries, 103 yards. The 3rd and a long 2 for South River. Backs are split. Here's a pitch to the near side. Gart Smalley appears to have the first down. Is brought down by Darius James. Gart Smalley has had a good evening running also. Ram backfield looks sharp. Rams have not thrown that much. And now I'm sure Bill Shateri just wants to work away the clock with his club up. 19-8, 10:55 remaining. Vinnie Jackson has a hole off right side for about 5. Alec Martin. Vinnie Jackson last week, 75 on the ground. Check that, 73 on the ground against Keyport. Rich Bird with 75. And reminder, Vinnie just a junior, Bird just a sophomore. And Dorian's a junior. be second in inches from our vantage point. It's tough to tell how many yards Vinny picked up. It's actually about 9. About the 33 of St. Peter's. 10:30 to play in the ball game.
Ball on the Cardinal 34.
Pitch left side, Rich Bird. Ran into Darius James.
Down by Darius James.
Has enough for the first down. The Ram running game in gear here at Memorial Stadium. Rams ran well here at Memorial Stadium early in the year against New Brunswick. Rams, but in that game, just couldn't contain Dwayne Smith, and Scott Beldavis ran wild against the South River, as did Anthony Brown. Rams just couldn't finish off the drive against the Zebra. And we got a penalty flag. Await the word from the field. Offside against the Rams. First and 15 now for South River.
Put the ball back to the 35. I think it's the 36. First and 15.
Ball is about the 35-yard line of the Cardinals. Rams have to get just inside the St. Peter's 20 for first down. Bailey is wide right. Mackwitz to throw on first down, rolling out, throws over the middle. It's complete to Art Diem, close to the first down. Wrestled down by Walker. A nice little rollout there from Mackwitz. Found Diem wide open over the middle, and enough for a first down. 15 yards on that connection. Mackwitz to Diem.
First down, South River. First and 10 for the Cardinal 21.
The Rams are just about at the 20-yard line of St. Peter's. Under 9 minutes to play in the ball game. Just joined us. South River leads at 19-8. Pair of touchdowns from Vinnie Jackson and 1 from Rich Bird. Rams really off 19 unanswered points. Gart Smalley going in motion. Rams keep it on the ground to Todd Check.
Down by Hayes.
Hayes in on the tackle. Gain of about 2 by the junior. Second and 8 for South River. Diem and Bird come on. Check and May depart for South River. Rams just working at the clock. It's in their favor. 8:05 to play. They lead it by 11. Here's Rich Bird. Right into Walker and Ralph Brown. About 2 more, so call it 3rd and 6 for South River first down. Third down for the Rams at the Cardinals' 16-yard line. Jeff Dorian straight up the middle.
Jeff Dorian stopped by Jimmy Hayes.
Upended by Jim Hayes and the co-captains. Well, 4th and
2 from the 14.
a 2 for the South River first down. 50 to play in the ball game. Vinnie Jackson is in for South River. Give to Vinnie, trying to get around the outside. Not going to make the first down. Is wrestled out.
Jackson takes out of bounds by Barlow.
The Rams are staying on the ground, reluctant
Jackson
to throw, even in a fourth down situation.
The Cardinals take over.
Worked off some of the clock there, but any kind of score, even a field goal, would have been a nice extra cushion for South River. They lead by 11. Cardinals will take over 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Send Walker right. Sarvis is left. Jarrett to throw on 1st down. He's looking deep for Martin. Batted away by Vinnie Jackson. Had to step Martin on the Rams secondary. Jackson able to get back. Jackson is rarely played on defense this year. Rams definitely can use his speed out there. And with now Mike Dean injured, Rams put Artie Diem at safety and bring Tom Eicher, who started most of the year, at corner. So 6:21 remaining, 2nd and 10. Tried to do an end around, ball is bobbled and loose, and South River has it. So that end around never materialized. Larry Crawford, the junior with the fumble recovery, the nose guard. So the Ram offense will take over. The 19-yard line of St. Peter's. Costly turnover. Sadowski is wide right. Under 6 minutes to play in the ball game. Jim Mackwitz, the quarterback, pitch to the near side to Rich Bird. Tries to get around the outside. No blocking there for Rich. Darius James there on the stop. And Bird having words with James. And a penalty flag. I tell you, Darius James is a fired-up ball player. Had his helmet off before. And see who that penalty goes against. Rams have to keep their composure. They have great field position. And now Kopecky has his helmet off. And I think Darius James may have been kicked out of the ball game.
The gain was for 2 yards down to 16.
Darius definitely a high-strung youngster. Very frustrating. Been a long year for the Cards. 1-5-1. Waving or gesturing to the crowd, and I think that's all we'll see of Darius James for the night, hopefully. Reminds me of a couple years ago when the Rams won big at Spotswood and they were just throwing players out left and right for the Chargers. So it's 1st and goal for South River. 5:38 to play in the ball game. Rams at the 8-yard line. Here's guard Smalley. Ramming forward. And Cardinals a pretty frustrated bunch right here. They have just one game remaining. It'll be Thanksgiving against South Plainfield.
Wally takes it down to 5. 2nd and goal from just inside the 5.
They lose this one tonight. The best they can really hope for is a 2-6-1 mark. Last year we're 3-5-1. The Rams, they've played a pretty tough schedule. Mater Dei, only one loss. Bishop Bar is a real good ball club, and so is Highland Park in New Brunswick. Touchdown!
Fox River, scored by number 27.
Garth Smalley, 2 yards out.
Five-yard dive for Smalley.
Call it the 5-yard line. Garth's 4th touchdown of the year.
On the extra point.
25-8. And George Garcia's come on. Macklins once again will hold.
That was the hold.
Last kick was blocked by St. Peter's. Kick is up. Long enough, it's good. So with 4:47 in remaining 4th quarter, 26-8, the Rams lead it.
Ball game. Rams 26, the Cardinals 8.
So the Southern Rams able to reel off 26 unanswered points, doing it on the ground. Pair of touchdowns from Vinnie Jackson, Rich Bird, and I think it's only fitting that Garth Smalley, who's probably been the most consistent ball player this year for Bill Shatteri's squad, he's had a good ball game, solid game running the ball. Always plays a tough game on defense, and I think Garth deserved the touchdown here tonight. It's now the only interesting thing to see is what St. Peter's reaction is. Pretty frustrated. See, James got booted. Kopecky looked pretty mad. He had his helmet off. So we'll see what kind of composure St. Peter's has, trailing 26-8. Garcia will kick off. Martin and Voller are back deep. Line drive kick. Gets by Martin. Picks up at about his own 10-yard line. Rams are right there. Hard tackle. He's still going. So a nice effort by Alec Martin. Just too many Rams there. Able to break a couple tackles. So now he can look for Roy Jarrett to roll out and just throw. Flag at about the 30-yard line. Preliminary indication appeared to be against blocking below the waist Cardinals, so that'll put the Cards even deeper in their own territory.
First and 10 for the Cardinals on the St. Peter's 9-yard line.
The Cardinals will start this drive from their own 9. Joe Shatteri, number 16, has come on for the Rams in the secondary. At the cornerback, Martin has a considerable size advantage. See if they go long to Martin. Keep it on the ground for a couple. Bottle on the carry, fine for the Rams, chipping away at the clock. 4:05 to play. Legal procedure against the Cards, so another penalty. 3:36 to play.
Second and 12. Ball's on the 7-yard line.
So the Cards from their own 7-yard line. Second and 12. Martin going in motion. Getting surprised and keeping on the ground.
Barlow up the middle.
Barlow again for A short gain, under 3 minutes to play. Rams without Mike Dean in the secondary. They inserted a sophomore, Joe Shateri. Cards aren't testing it. And was Darius James tossed out of the ball game. He's sitting on the bench. See if they go to the air here. Over the middle. Complete.
Jared pass complete to Alec Martin.
Alec Martin. Demon on the stop.
Ball placed on the 33. That's the St. Peter's first down.
So a 26-yard pickup on that Jarrett to Martin pass. You wonder why didn't they throw earlier in that series. 2:10 to play. Varlo on the end around to Martin. Weems is there. Laterals it back to one of the linemen, Jim Hayes.
Hayes was brought down by Rich Hellman.
You know you're in trouble when you have your linemen running your laterals.
Timeout, St. Peter's.
So the Cards take a timeout, stops the clock with 1:43. I see the Rams defensive coordinator, Rich Marchese, walking down. Has to be satisfied. Rams gave up the touchdown with just seconds to go. The first quarter to Sean Varlo on a 54-yard run, but have held Cardinals pretty much in check right throughout the ball game. No substantial, really, running gains, except that last pass, the longest passing hookup of the night, and the game's pretty much well over. So Rich Marchese has to be happy with the Ram defense. And the offense looked pretty good tonight, especially on the ground. We didn't see that much in the air. Vinnie Jackson had a solid game. Rich Bird scored. Guard Smalley, nothing fancy there, just straight ahead, 7-8 yards per carry. The Rams were tied last week 15-15, and then 2 weeks ago against Pius, a 7-6 win. Rams rolling up some offense this week against the 1-5-1 Cardinals of St. Peter's. And next week, a big test for South River on the road at Metuchen. Bulldogs coming to tonight's ball game against Highland Park unbeaten. Jarrett looks deep. Intercepted by the sophomore, Joe Shateri.
Jared's pass intercepted by number 16, Joe Shateri.
So Shateri, who came on for Vinnie Jackson, picks off the pass. He's going to stay out there on offense, and the third quarterback the Rams have used this evening started with Dean. Mike got injured. Mackwitz came on. And so sophomore Joe Shateri will be the Ram quarterback. A minute 28 to play in the ball game. Here's Jeff Dorian.
Dorian on the carry.
For about 2. Rams making wholesale changes. Chris Dinkov coming on. Ray Sprogius.
2, 2nd and 8.
Craig Bailey has come on. Terry Hodder. Chris Dinkov is now the center. Joe Shateri, the QB for South River. 35 seconds to play in a good ball game for South River. Here's Dorian once again inside the 35 to about the 39-yard line. Browning on the stop. 20 seconds to go.
Game is 39. 33.
So that'll be the final play. So Bill Shateri has to be happy with his club's performance after a tough 15-15 tie. I think there's an air raid. Oh, it has a blinding light in my eyes. There goes the retina. So let's recap it. Cards got on the board with 4 seconds remaining in the first. Sean Barlow, 54-yard run, 2-point conversion. Miller to Jarrett. After one, it was 8-0 St. Peter's. Then with 7:02 to play in the second, Vinnie Jackson, 3-yard run, 2-point conversion, failed. 8-6 Cards at half. Then in the third quarter, the Rams got rolling. 6:57 to play. Vinnie Jackson, a 76-yard punt return. Looks like a mix-up with Sadowski. Turned in a beautiful piece of running. Garcia's kick, and the Rams had the lead. Bird's 3-yard run with 2:11 to go. The kick fail made it 19-8. Then in the fourth quarter, Garth Smalley, his 4th touchdown on the year, a 5-yard run. George Garcia's kick made it 26-8. So the Ram backfield just superb. We had so much fun. I want to thank Art London.